Hi everyone, and welcome to Anatomy and Physiology Online. So first of all, I would like to welcome you to the course formally, and I want you to take a second to congratulate yourself for the undertaking that you have decided to embark upon. There's going to be a fantastic ride this semester. There will be some tears, there will be some trials, but most importantly, there will be some triumphs. So you're going to have a really awesome time, and it's going to kind of be like a really good movie, you know, where there's this huge plot and there's a problem and then the hero saves the day, and except in this movie you're the hero. So congratulate yourself for taking this course. So I am your instructor, Kelly Roberts. You're going to need to get used to my nasally voice, and you're going to want to get used to this beautiful mug because you're going to be seeing me at least once a week. So although this is an online course, I want to make this course feel as natural as your traditional face-to-face courses. So every week you will see a video of me being posted because I want to really keep that same feeling that you would get in a face-to-face course. So what we're going to do in this first video today is that we are going to talk about your syllabus, talk about your course schedule, your textbook, your lab kit, and yes, you will have a lab kit with your very own skeleton, so woohoo on that. And we're going to talk about how to navigate through Blackboard, what some of the expectations are, the technology requirements, and all the things that you'll need to be successful. So first things first, the textbook that we are going to be using is Fundamentals of Anatomy and Physiology by Martini, Nath, and Bartholomew. Now what I have here, so I can show that better, is the 10th edition of the textbook, and this edition of the textbook, the 10th edition of it, is like $20 on Amazon, something really inexpensive. You do not have to get the latest edition of the textbook, which is being sold at the bookstores. The latest edition of the textbook, I think, is like the 13th or 14th edition, and it's somewhere around like $260, $280. So I don't want you don't have to get that edition of the textbook at all. In fact, as long as you make sure that your textbook has these authors, as soon as I can get it in focus, Martini, Nath, and Bartholomew, and it is this textbook of Fundamentals of Anatomy and Physiology. I don't care what edition it is. So you can get the newest edition if you want to, but you can get the 8th, the 7th, the 6th, the 5th, whatever, 9th, 10th edition of it, and all of those older editions are going to be cheaper versions of this textbook. Your lab kit, on the other hand, is a little bit more expensive. Your lab kit's about $193. But what comes with that $193 is that you get a cow eye, you get a sheep brain, you get a little skeleton that actually comes in it, so it's kind of cool to get. If you do not want to pay for the lab kit and you live close to St. Louis, you are more than welcome to come on any of the St. Louis campuses to use those items, like the skeleton that you will need to use and any of those other things. You're more than welcome to go on campus and use those things, and you don't have to pay for the kit. You will need to be registered with Hands-On Learning, the platform that we're going to be using for the lab, but you don't have to purchase the kit if you live close to St. Louis. If you don't live close to St. Louis and you don't have access to a skeleton and the other things that are found in the kit, then you're going to have to buy the kit. But good news is, instead of having to spend $200+ on the book, you can spend $193 on the kit and then get the book for $20. And remember, my whole goal is to make sure that this course mimics as much as a face-to-face course would have, because I want you to get that same experience even though you're getting it online. So right now, what we're going to do is that we're going to go navigate over Blackboard and look at some of the features of Blackboard and some of the things that you're going to need as we go through this course. All right, so where you're going to be starting is in the Start Here tab. So at that Start Here tab, it's going to be a lot of information that you're going to need in order to get started and to do this class effectively. So first things first, we have this tab here on how to order your lab kit. So ordering your lab kit, you're going to follow these instructions and go through and order your lab kit. because you follow those instructions. Also here in the Start Here folder, we have some information on taking your test with ProctorU. Because this is an online course, you will have to have your exams proctored, and what that means is that you are going to pay a $14.75 fee for a company to watch you take your test over the internet, over your computer. So you have to make sure that your computer has a camera attached to it, and then they will actually take access of that camera, and it's basically kind of recording you taking the test, and they look for any abnormalities. So it's almost like your instructor would be on the other side if you were in the classroom and you were taking the test, to make sure that you're not cheating on it. Once again, if you live close to St. Louis, you are more than welcome to have me proctor your exams by taking them with my hybrid course when they take their exam. So that is an option for you. As we get closer to exam taking time, I will give you more information about the times and the dates that I will be giving that exam. If you can't make any of those times and dates, then you'll have to use ProctorU. So in this folder are all the information that you'll need to use ProctorU. So going back to the Start Here folder here, minimum technology requirements, you want to make sure that you obviously have a computer and internet access, a recent version of Chrome, Firefox, or Safari. If an application, a platform, or something does not work on your computer, then you're like, if you use Chrome and the platform doesn't work on Chrome, then you'll want to try Firefox or you'll want to try Safari. Do not use Internet Explorer for virtually anything, because I don't think anything works on Internet Explorer right anymore. You have Microsoft. Make sure you can use Microsoft Word, Excel, Adobe Reader, and Adobe Flash Player. Minimum technical skills, be able to use Blackboard. If you're here, then you have some command of Blackboard, so you've already passed that. Be able to send and receive emails. I shoot out a lot of announcements, especially as we start to get into some of the more difficult stuff like muscle contractions. So you'll want to make sure that you can send and receive emails, upload and download files, create and submit files using Microsoft Word, make sure that you can use the Microsoft Office suites, and be able to download and install software, which is very little of that you'll have to do in this class, but in the event you want to have minimum technological savvy in that aspect. So now we are going to go to the instructor link here, and that's where you get to see me again in my favorite place on the planet Earth, a beach. Contact information for me listed right here. Best way to reach me is via my email address. If you leave me a voicemail on that number, I will probably not get it for the next 3 years because I forgot my password, and tech support says they can't help me and they can't reset the password because it's my password. So I haven't checked my voicemails, and I kid you not, it's probably been 4, 5, 6 or 7 years. It's been a long time. So if you really want to get a hold of me, email me. That is the best way to contact me. If you want to find me, if you're close to St. Louis, I am on the St. Louis Community College campus, the Merrimack campus, that's the one in Kirkwood, and I am in the Science South building, that's what SS stands for, 116. The times that I will be there are on Mondays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesdays from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. On Tuesdays, I have what are called virtual office hours where you can access me via Blackboard, and those are going to be on Tuesdays from 11 to 3 p.m. Now, as I said before, email is the best way to contact me because I just don't know how to get into my voicemail, and I respond to all of my emails within 24 hours that are received between Monday through Thursday. A lot of times it's even sooner than that. However, any emails that I receive between Friday and Sunday, I usually don't get to those until about 48 hours. So if you send me an email on Saturday morning and I don't get back to you until Monday, I am not trying to shun you, I am not ignoring you, I am not ghosting you, I just probably haven't had a chance to look at it. So I like to try to take the weekends to unplug a little bit so that I'm not constantly looking and checking my cell phone. But during the week, I'm either on my laptop or I have email access readily available so I can get to them a little bit faster. So here is that link for the virtual office hours. You will click that link for the virtual office hours, and a platform called Blackboard Collaborate or Collaborate Ultra opens up, and we can have face-to-face discussions if you want to, if you have a camera on your end, or you can just have me talk to you like this without a camera, or you can just look at my end of it where I can use the camera. So those are options on how we can meet and talk to each other. And here's what Blackboard Collaborate looks like. All right, so done with my instructor. Now moving on to the syllabus. So right here we have your syllabus for A&P. I'm going to go ahead and open that and download it. But then we also have the course schedule. I'm going to go ahead and download that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and open up our syllabus. And hopefully you can see everything well. I'm going to blow it up just a little bit. Oh, looks like that's not happening. Thought I could blow it up. I couldn't. All right, so a lot of this information we've already gone over, what my name is, where to find me, how to contact me. Don't leave a voicemail. You can call me during my office hours. I'll answer the phone, but if I'm not there, don't leave a voicemail unless you want to graduate, become a nurse, doctor, veterinarian, and then I call you back then after 6 years. But don't leave me a voicemail. I'm not going to get it forever. Email me. Your textbook, Fundamentals of Anatomy and Physiology by Martini, Nath, and Bartholomew. 9th edition, 10th edition, 8th edition, 6th edition. I don't care, as long as it's the authors in the textbook. What you get in the newer editions of the textbook is that they put fancier new figures in it, and it's a glossier new book, and there's a different person doing a fantastic yoga position on it. So those are some of the things that you're going to pay for. And I think if you use the Mastering A&P, I believe that gets updated, but I'm not using that this semester. You also need for your lab manual, we have an A&P lab manual that you get for free, $99. That means free at no cost to you, and it is already on Blackboard. We'll talk about that in a second. And your hands-on lab kit we talked about already, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. This is the link for you to register with the hands-on lab. So I think we're going to just take a moment to go ahead and do that so you can see what this looks like. So when we click that link, this is what it looks like, and you should see AP1 Kelly Roberts at St. Louis Community College. And then you're also going to want to follow the instructions and create a link. Once you do so, you will get into an area that looks like, and I'm going to go to my hands-on lab. So I've already set up an account, and when I click submit, then I have 2 classes in here. You all only have 1, unless you're taking me for AP1 and AP2 at the same time. You want to click on that, and this is all things that you will see after you have registered here. So after you've registered here, then you will be able to see this. You'll get into this area. So here are all of your labs, and they have to be completed in order. So you can't decide, ooh, organization of muscle tissue, that sounds fun in week 1, because you haven't done the getting started, the laboratory, safety, or using the V-scope. The V-scope is your version of a microscope. So you haven't done any of these other labs, so you can't just piggyback over them. So you have to do these labs in order. Okay. And that's not where I want to be right this second. There we go. So course design, it's entirely online. You do not have to come to campus for anything unless you want to. Laboratory meetings, we won't have any laboratory meetings because it's completely online, but you have to complete the 11 lab exercises online, and they should be done in a timely manner. These exercises are graded, and they're going to be due by Sunday. In fact, anything that I give you that has to be due, any assignments, and we'll look at some of those in the weekly work folders, are all going to be due on Sunday by 11:59 p.m. and that's Central Standard Time. So if you live on the East Coast, or you live on the West Coast, or in Mountain Time, you're going to want to accommodate accordingly, because your items will be due Sunday, my time. I live in St. Louis, so 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. All of your lectures are recorded, and they are on YouTube. And I also put a link into each of the weekly work folders for where each lecture will be found that pertains to that particular subject or that topic. Also, These are older recordings. The information's still good, but the recordings are older. So there's some housekeeping stuff in there about quiz dates and what we're going to be doing in lab. I want you to disregard all of that information and really just focus on the lectures itself. So any of that housekeeping material said during the lectures, just kind of let that roll off you like water off a duck's back. Blackboard course announcements, handouts that would normally be presented to you in your face-to-face class are going to be found on Blackboard. To access Blackboard, you have to go to, I'm not going to read all of that because you should probably already know how to access Blackboard. If you live close to St. Louis and you want to print things out, you can go to the Merrimack campus and print items in our computer labs. You can print a total of 10 pages for free, not technically free because you paid for them in your tuition, your course utility fees or something like that, and that's in Science West 110 and Business Administration Office 201, and those are the hours for those different labs. Prerequisite for this course, you should have a grade of C or better, or 1 year of high school biology and chemistry within the last 5 years. If you didn't have that, you wouldn't be here. We're going to go over some of the 11 organ systems of the human body. We'll do the rest of them, some of them here in AP1, and we'll do the others in AP2. Specifically, here are our course objectives, and I won't read through all of those. I will allow you to read through them. Make sure that you can access, open, and send and receive messages from your student email. It's very important that you use your student email. That is the primary method by which the college has to communicate with you, which I have to communicate with you. So if you usually use your sexy1@gmail.com email address more than anything else, there is a way for you to link those two accounts, your SCLCC and hotsexy1@gmail.com. You can link those together. And the instructions to do that, you should probably call tech support because I would not be the person to walk you through that. Call tech support and they can probably help you to link them together so that you make sure that you're getting your student emails along with all of your other stuff. Classroom conduct doesn't really necessarily pertain to you in the traditional sense. However, there are a few items that I want you to be mindful of. Please don't forget to watch a YouTube lecture. Don't wait until a day before the test and decide, I'm still missing 4 lectures out of these 6 that I'm supposed to be watching for my exam. Don't try to just cram and watch all of your lectures at one sitting, all 4 of those, right before a test. So make sure you're watching them every week. The way that I have it scheduled is that you should watch a lecture every week for the next 16 weeks. Watch YouTube lectures. Simple. Don't forget to complete your lab exercises on time. Don't eat or drink while performing your lab, especially when we get to dissections. Now, when you have the skeleton lab, you're probably okay with that, but anytime we're working with animal specimens, so specifically sheep brain, cow eyeball, you don't want to eat or drink in that area, and you want to make sure that you clean that area up really good before and after using it. While listening to lectures, please find a distraction-free area, especially the first time that you listen to them. Notice how I said the first time that you listen to them. So we're going to have a come to Jesus moment right now. You should probably be listening to your lectures more than once. The students that are successful in this class, they listen to those lectures multiple times. The first time you listen to the lecture, it's perfectly fine to, I would like for you to listen to it in a place where it's a distraction-free area. You put your headphones on or your earbuds in, or however way you can get into your groove. Take your notebook out, take your notes out, and then listen to the lectures in the exact same way that you would in a face-to-face class. Take notes on the lectures in the exact same way that you would for a face-to-face class. The next time that you listen to, and I would even, if I had questions about something, I would pause the lecture, pause the YouTube video, and then I would write down what that question is. And then after I finished listening to the lecture, I would email my professor and say, hey, on slide blah, 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 chapter blah, 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 you mentioned endocrine reaction coupling with the G proteins. What is the G protein again? Whatever my question may have been. I would ask that question right away. Then the next times that I listen to the lecture, I might listen to them while I'm watching my kid play soccer. I might listen to them while I'm driving to work. I might listen to them when I am cooking dinner, just to make sure that I can subliminally kind of get that information into my head. Because the more you listen to them, it's the same way that you learn to speak any language. The best way to learn to speak a language is to do what? be surrounded by it and hear it all the time. Anatomy and physiology is a brand new language. So the more you listen to it, the more fluent that you will become in it. So listen to the lectures more than just one time. So the second, third, fourth time, however many times you listen to them, I would listen to them kind of doing other things, maybe while you're working out or running errands or whatever it is. But the take-home message is that you should be listening to these lectures more than one time. All right, so next thing that we have here, don't sleep during the YouTube lectures, because osmosis doesn't work where you like sleep on top of your book and then you know all this information. Trust me, I've tried. Don't cheat on exams. If you're caught cheating, you'll be automatically failed from this course. Students who are suspected of cheating on tests may be asked to retake the test or a similar test to it. Grading scale still stays the same. It's still consistent here with 90 to 100 an A and so forth. You have 3 lecture exams worth 100 points. Check the schedule for the lecture exam dates. They're a mixture of multiple choice, true, false, and with explanation, fill in the blank and short answer questions. The objectives for the lecture material are going to be posted on Blackboard so that you will have that to use as study material. So you can, as I said before, you have a couple of options for taking your exams. If you live close to the Merrimack campus, you can take them with me and I'll post the times and dates on Blackboard, or you can take them online using ProctorU, which is a $14.75 for each exam. And then that's more information on Proctor. So, rest of this information I can let you read. In addition to the 3 lecture exams, we have a comprehensive final, which is given during finals week. It's also worth 100 points. However, it is optional. So, if you have a low exam score, lecture exam score, not a lab score, or you've missed one, I will allow you to take your comprehensive final exam to cover that. The way that the final exam will be proctored is not going to be through ProctorU, because it's a longer than just an hour or 50-minute exam. So we'll have to make other arrangements. If you don't live close to St. Louis Community College, if you don't live close, you will have to we'll have to make arrangements for that. But if you need to take the final exam, it is totally optional for you, and it's going to be cumulative for every single thing that we have done. So lab grade, we do have lab practicals. They will be posted on Blackboard. The lab practicals are worth 100 points each. You cannot make up a lab practical in the sense that you can't take your lowest. I'm not dropping any of your lab exam grades. So your lab exam grades, you're going to end up keeping those. Withdrawal date on here, I think this may be changing. I feel like it's Friday, November 12th, not the 8th. But that could possibly change. And I can't withdraw you from the course. If things happen and you need to withdraw, you'll have to withdraw yourself. Attendance tracker, although this is an online course, we do take attendance tracker, and every time you log into Blackboard, we can see that. So if you have not logged into Blackboard for like a week or 2, you may be dropped from the class. And access office. So any students that require any specific accommodations, please let me know by providing me your access office memo. So whether it be extended test taking time, note takers, or whatever it is that your specific accommodation is, make sure that I get the instructor's notification memo so I can make sure that the accommodations that you require are met. All right, grade calculation sheet. These are the items that you will be responsible for and how many points they're worth. I'll let you go through there and look at that on your own. And now we have our schedule of things that we're going to do. So I just had to make sure that everything was working the way that it needs to work. So now what we're going to do is that we're going to go over to Blackboard and we're going to look at your weekly work modules. So under weekly modules here, for the next 15 weeks, everything is broken up into the topic and the chapter. So week 1, chapter 1, and this just follows right along with your syllabus. And every folder has most of the same stuff in it. First thing that you're going to find is the lecture. you click on this link and it will take you directly to our YouTube channel. Well, as soon as this stupid ad gets out the way here. So it will take you right to our lecture. And you could listen to that, and I'm not going to put the volume up because it gets really loud. So we have the lectures that will be found in the very beginning. Then we have a discussion board that you will need to complete, and this discussion boards are worth 5 points. Then we have what are called mind map or concept maps. So what I want you to do with these mind maps or concept maps is that I'm going to give you 2 different subjects. So for the first week, negative feedback and homeostasis. I want you to make a mind map or a concept map over homeostasis and over negative feedback. And then I want you to take a picture of it or take a screenshot of it if you constructed it on your computer, and then submit that to me at this link here. So when you click that link, then you'll be able to submit your mind map. And really the whole reasoning for the mind map or concept maps is to be able to get you to start to bridge the gaps between concepts. So start to bridge the communication between those concepts. A lot of what we do in anatomy and physiology is that we are going to be understanding how things work. In fact, that's what physiology means, how something works. How does it actually do its job? Anatomy is just the structure itself. So anatomy is easy. It's the physiology, the chemical basis, the electrical basis on why a certain mechanism works and what makes it not work that sometimes gets a little tricky. So these mind maps and these concept maps are really just study tools to help you to be able to organize your thoughts. I will have videos posted in the Start Here folder that discuss exactly how to use or how to construct a mind map or a concept map. So here is that HOL lab, that hands-on learning lab I was telling you about, where you can click on the Getting Started there. And in that Getting Started, it takes you right to that very first lab and tells you all this information that you're going to be doing. Test your knowledge. It has the experimentation, the materials that you're going to be needing for this, what you need to supply, what your lab kit should supply, and then the evaluation. There's like a test or something that you take over here and just says start evaluation, and I will get all of those results. So for each lab there is that has a hands-on learning, there's a link for that. Once you complete your hands-on learning lab, you will generate a lab report. Let me see if I can final report. So you'll click on that final report. Now, of course, it says here that, I don't have anything in there because I haven't actually done it, but you will get a final report that's going to be in a PDF. So you don't have to do anything for it, except for as you go through the all the parts of the exploration, the experimentation, the evaluation. As you go through all of those, it will generate a final report. You're just going to click it, and it will populate a PDF file that you will then submit. So that's my evidence that you've done the actual lab. So you'll submit your lab report here. And then remember I told you all that you have a free lab manual that comes from St. Louis Community College, and this is where you find it. So lab manual for week 1 is here, and it is a PowerPoint file. So if we open up that PowerPoint file, we'll see it. So for your lab practicals, information that you've done on the hands-on learning platform, the HOL platform, as well as information that's found in the lab manuals, those are all items that you'll be responsible for your lab practical. So in your first lab practical, you're going to see this nice little naked man, and instead of it saying auxiliary or armpit, I'm going to have a blank there and a number 5. What is this? And you will tell me axillary or armpit. On his chin, you'll tell me that's mental or chin. So you'll need to go over and not just look at, but study the information that's found in these labs. And I will tell you specifically what I want you to focus on in each of the lab manual portions of it, because some information you don't need all of it, you just need some of it. So specifically for the following slides, you need to know the name of the organ system and be able to locate the organs in bold. So for this one here, just know the integumentary system, nothing's really in bold there. For this one, brain, spinal cord. Those are the two things I'd want you to identify there. So not only do you have your HOL labs that you'll be responsible for, but you also need to look at these lab manuals, because your lab practical is going to come from these lab manuals, what we're looking at now, as well as the HOL platform. And then, let's see what else is in our weekly work folder. And that's everything. So that's everything that's in the weekly work folder. And if you'll notice, they're all pretty much exactly the same. They have the same information that's in them. All right, so I believe I have given you all of the things that you will need to get started. So on your to-do list, first things first, you want to make sure that you register for hands-on learning, the lab, and order your lab kit. The information on how to do that is found in the Start Here, under the Start Here tab. And let's go back here so that we can ordering your lab kit. So how to do that is found there. So you want to make sure that you order your lab kit and you get enrolled, self-enrolled really, with the HOL Hands-On Learning Lab. You want to also make sure that you set up an account with ProctorU, and by setting up an account, you don't save your credit card or information or anything like that now. I think you can if you want to, but you can just wait until you're ready to take tests. But get set up with ProctorU. Order your textbook wherever you're going to order your textbook from. Go over your syllabus, and then let's get ready to rock and roll. So that is pretty much it. This is just your introduction video of me saying hi and welcoming you to the class and just showing you some of the things that you're going to need to get started. Next week, I'll be back with another video that's going to specifically talk about the things that we're going to do in week 1. All right, until next time, I'll see you again.